Oh my gosh, is it time for another episode of Second Cup? You betcha! It's me, your host, Tim Heller. My guest today is Chad William Fischer. Chad is a submarine veteran turned voice actor based here in Texas and also has several really cool entrepreneurial ventures on the side. Top off your beverage, keep your eyes on the road, or just get comfy and enjoy this episode of Second Cup.
And here's your guest joining late.
It's all good. You have kids. That's a get out of jail free card.
I figured it. I was texting and I was like, yeah, you can see why I chose time management as a topic that has lately been a trouble for me.
It's all good, man. This is the nice thing about this is that there are no rules and I get to make them all. So, and who's going to be the guy who's mad at their friend for taking care of their kids in the morning?
Yeah. I mean, it was like 7:30 was when I was actually dressed and I was like walking around. I was like, all right, good. And I was taking care of some stuff, feeding the dogs, and all of a sudden the kids get up and they're like, I'm hungry. And she's just like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll take care of that. And then I look at the time and I'm like, shoot, haven't even started the coffee. But
it's seriously, man, it is all good. We are already recording. We are here. We're ready. Cheers to you. And welcome to the show. Tell me about your cup and what you're drinking.
Actually, I made this using a mocha pot, which I just recently got into.
Fancy schmancy. Look at you.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's the closest way to make an espresso shot without using an actual espresso machine, without actually having that amount of pressure behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, I've got really into making my coffee over the last couple months because my father-in-law has a patent for a device called the Whistler's Friend. It's an attachment that goes into a whistling tea kettle, so you can steam. You can steam up some milk right on your stovetop.
No way.
And on Saturdays, what I have a Pokemon online hobby shop.
Yeah, I want to dig into it. You've got a lot going on, and
I've been selling that at the farmer's market, so I figured I could also sell the Whistler's Friend, and I could do coffee demonstrations, and I get a half an hour out of every hour where I'm not doing anything. So I figured, I'm like, hey, if Pokemon's not your thing, who wants a cup of coffee?
And if Pokemon's not your thing, then you need to look at your life, look at your choices.
Yeah, it's the biggest brand on the planet right now, literally.
It's the Pokemon Renaissance is well upon us and is fascinating. I have not dived in, so I need to look at my life, look at my choices. But
it's like the stock market, or the national economy. It does this a 5-year trend of up and down.
Yeah.
Every 5 years, it gets a resurgence, a mini one. This one was huge, but
yeah, this one's pretty darn big. That probably getting close to $1 billion resurgence, if not well past it already. Well, Chad, I appreciate you joining this morning and wanting to be a part of this. I would love to just get a quick Cliff Notes, because you've lived a lot of life, you've experienced a lot of things, and I would love to just have you give a short intro to who you are, what you do, which is I know is a lot, and that's part of the challenge and why I wanted to make this such a small time window is because I have a tendency to ramble myself. But quick Cliff Notes, who you are, what you do.
Gotcha. Okay, so I don't know how I'm getting all that out.
Nailed it.
So crazy kid, loved everything. We all say, I wanted to do it as a kid. Yeah, okay, so did everybody with voiceover at least. I did announcing in high school, sports announcing. I moved on to radio after high school. Hit a brick wall because I was a high school graduate with no other degree, nothing like that. And I was getting passed up by people with 20 years of experience in the industry as far as broadcasting is concerned. So I did something for myself, for my future, and so I joined the Navy as a submariner. So I did submarines for 6 years as a missile technician, and that brought me to Seattle, the Seattle area. Mm-hmm. And before I got out, I started working at the shipyard as kind of a temporary duty. I met the people who worked at their media department, and I was like, hey, voiceover, cool. And I started doing voiceover for the safety videos at the shipyard, and all of a sudden I got referred to, oh my gosh, I can see your face in my name, or I can see your face in my brain. The voice, what's her name? Voice of the Oscars.
I'm drawing a blank as well.
Wonderful lady in LA.
The voice of the Oscars.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. I feel so bad. VO Mastery down in LA. I got invited down there. They paid for my ticket. I had to pay for my flight, my lodging. But I went to my first voiceover conference, like right after I got out of the military, and I was like, this is a real thing. Holy cow. This isn't some kind of like, what your parents tell you, acting is a pipe dream, it's never going to happen. My mom didn't smoke that much, but
I was going to say, wow, your parents really had the voice for the radio too.
But then all of a sudden, boom, I just, I got out of the military, and I had a very wonderful supporting wife who was making more money cutting hair in a military town than I was making in the military.
In the military.
Because she got tips, she cut hair. There was Marines, Army, Air Force, Navy in our area.
It's a renewable resource.
Yeah, right. It is literally. Yeah, there you go. But so she was like, yeah, I'll support you. Pursue your dreams. So she was awesome. She let me do it for a couple of years, and I was like, well, when we had our second kid, I was like, do you want to go back to work, or do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? I let it up to her, and she didn't want to go back to work, and so I kind of picked everything up because I was, it worked out. I found an area to do things, and as time went on, we all try to branch out into different things, and I started to branch out into theater. I went to LA to go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts to get a formal education as an actor, which led me more into theater, more into on-camera stuff. And that's just, that's led to where I am now, where I'm always trying to diversify what I'm doing. Content creation. I have a Pokemon YouTube channel that led to me to starting my own online hobby shop because the market went crazy the last 2 years, and I figured, how do I get around scalpers? How do I get around low stock? And I'm like, well, I could easily just get it all wholesale, get my license, sell it all myself, and sell back. Because I met all the collectors in my local town since I already collect Pokemon, so I know who they are. I know they're suffering from the same issues I am. So I'm like, hey guys, I'm getting it wholesale. I'll sell it to you for MSRP or even lower because we're all buddies. Got to charge sales tax though, because if you're watching, I follow the law.
Yeah, but tax code. Hello, IRS.
But which isn't really too bad, because Pokemon was flying off the market. But now this year, you got to be a little more tactful because people are jumping off the ship like the rats, and they're liquidating and plummeting the prices online because they're trying to get out of the market, or they're just, trying to stay afloat. Luckily for me, behind this curtain is just a crap load of Pokemon stuff, but I'm not too worried about how long this will sit, because I don't have a lease to a commercial lease to
it's
pay.
all yours. So Chad, we connected a while ago, like when I moved back to Texas, and that was right around the same time that you started doing your renovation of your studio. I'm going to plug all of your YouTube and social media channels in the intro or outro for this, but for those of you listening, it is an incredible space that Chad put together, and it is so cool and so custom, and it's built into the basement of his house.
Detached garage.
Oh, detached garage. Sorry, thank you for that addendum. It's awesome, and you've got a video walkthrough or photos of everything on your website, or
on one of my YouTube channels. Like I've got a couple videos, a couple like, hey, come on in, a couple little walkthroughs.
Hey, this is my crib.
It was such a pain in the ass. It was like a 5-month ordeal because I did it mostly by myself. I had an electrician help me install a sub panel just because I wanted to make sure that bigger distribution area was up to code. Yeah. And then I had a contractor fill in the spaces where the original 3 garage doors were. So it's a 3-car garage, detached garage. It's pretty long.
That's amazing.
35 feet that way, and it's
a full-on production studio now, which is it's awesome. It's really, really cool. Now,
which I don't know why I have the green screen all the way here next to my editing area.
It's all good.
Oh, it's because
it's yours. You can make it what you want.
I was trying to stream it. I didn't want a whole bunch of cords running all the way around the side. Because when I do like YouTube stuff, that I edit it, in post, it's all on the other side of the studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got like 3 or 4 different stations in there. I love it.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about mental health and time management today. I'm going to leave the ball in your court. Where do you want to dive in? Let's start with time management because that's what we came in talking about.
I think the biggest thing for me when it comes to time management is the fact that I volunteer myself way too much for things. I am constantly doing stuff like so right now what's on my plate. In 2 weeks, I start college again. I'm going back to school to finish a business degree because I've got so many credits from random things that I've done, and I just want to get it finished,
And you don't have enough going on right now, so why not, right?
And so I'm doing that because I want to upgrade myself with my business, my voiceover stuff primarily. I'm selling Pokemon on Saturdays. I spend about half an hour to an hour shipping out boxes every day. I do my auditions and 5 to 10 marketing calls and emails in the voiceover area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm involved in a theater production of the play Exit Pursued by a Bear, and I'm like the co-star role on that one.
So you got a couple things,
yeah,
and so
and
it's,
then family.
Do you feel like with doing and having a wife and kids? So where do you feel like with time management? I know you said you're volunteering yourself for too many things, but where do you feel like that comes from? Where do you feel like the root of that is? Because at least for me, it's like I used to be in the same boat of just saying yes to everything because I wanted to, and I feel like that's a big part of your 20s is just saying yes because you need
yes
the
to the
experience. Yeah, you got to say yes to the dress, and but it also for me stemmed from like a people pleasing standpoint, and so I'm just curious where you feel like that may come from for yourself.
Yeah, okay. There is a bit of a people pleaser thing. I like to do stuff, but for me I think it's the ADHD thing. I think I constantly have a million different interests. Like I'm also trying to perfect, the perfect cup of coffee. So I could also sell coffee. I'm thinking about, okay, do I want to open a physical brick and mortar with this stuff? And I'm like, no, not yet. No, there's no way. I don't have the time for that. And then also I'm just like, okay, my actors, my special skills list as an actor, I spend 2 days at the skate park a week. I'm starting private coaching at a gymnastics place that my wife works at. I'm just continuously, I'm just so curious and interested in all these different things that I'm like, when I was a kid, I always tell people when I was a kid, I remember specifically the first time I had to write about my future career, when they do that whole career days, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was just like, what do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be everything. I want to be the astronaut. Like I want to be my goal actually when I was a kid was to be a fighter pilot. And then, my dad was like, oh, your vision isn't good enough, but fucking LASIK, man, we got LASIK now. You could do, if you do good in school and they're like academically, this is a good, smart person who's motivated, get them LASIK right now, get them on the, get them in the centrifuge. Like they don't care. They just need motivated people who can do the job. But, and I've since met some pretty awesome, people who are ex-Top Gun pilots, test pilots, show pilots. Like, that'd have been so cool.
That's cool.
But
yeah,
I can never narrow down what I want to do. And it's probably the biggest existential dread I have is I am trying to do so many things. What if I'm never truly good at any of those things because I'm spreading myself so thin?
Yeah. So, so then you got to look at like paring it down. Right. And I think that's also where, so what you said about your ADHD and that causing you to splinter out in so many different factions, I think that's also kind of at least from my perspective, an outsider's perspective, is that's also a superpower because it also triggers this entrepreneurial spirit in you that you're trying all these different things. And then when something takes off, then it's giving that positive reinforcement back to you saying, hey, yeah, no, this was actually a good thing for you to go try. Let's dig deeper into this and get better and better and better. And so
that's
that could
so true.
be, do you feel, have you ever felt that way about your ADHD and as more of a superpower rather than a hindrance?
I've never, let's be honest. A lot of us, it's cool to take that boost of like, yeah, I had a good success. I booked a good gig. Oh, I've got my first recurring client who's paying me like good money. And it's like, cool. All right. But that wears off so quickly sometimes that it's like, it's hard to not see the things that are just like, what did I not do today? What did I fail on? It's hard. It's really hard to hold on to your victories because, the victories are 10%, you may have 10% as victories, 20% as failures, and then, 70% is just neutral, just, non-successes, I'll call them.
100% learning and flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah. And, but, when I think about it, that's a good point that I haven't really thought about too much is the fact that I keep trying so many different things. I'm finding where stuff is working. Cause now that I've got like, 10 plates spinning, I can be like, okay, what's making money for me? All right, bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, there we go. All right, let's keep the money making spinning. Because at the end of the day, like, I hate, you hate to say it, but it's like money controls the world around us. And I've got a home that needs, remodeling and repairing. I've got, kids that need to have fun birthdays. I haven't gone on vacation somewhere with them in a couple weeks or a couple years. Their birthdays are all in the same week of March. I have 3 daughters that have the birthdays 7 days apart from each other.
Part. Well done.
Yeah, good. Yeah, the first time it was oopsies, and the second time it was just like, let's see how good our accuracy is, and it was like, wow, okay. So, but it would be so nice to have that 1 week be a Universal Studios trip in LA, or a Florida trip to go see some of her family, and then go to Disney or something down there. Like, that'd be so much fun to be able to plan these big things. So, it's like I have to focus.
It'll all happen. It's all like, I feel myself in a similar phase just with Jess and I, and we just have a dog, but it's, you're very much in a building phase. And I feel like with a lot of entrepreneurs that I know and entrepreneurial artists is that we will sacrifice those vacations in order to be building something to set us up for the future. And that's something that I feel like, especially like I wanted for the longest time to just figure out how to start a podcast or how to create more and do more things. But it just took that time of, okay, first I have to make money, because you do have bills to pay. So figure out what you can do that is fulfilling and not soul sucking enough to set yourself up to be creative full time, whether that's a retail job or going into the Navy or whatever that may look like for you. But then once you get to the point where you can be like, okay, cool, I don't need that part of this anymore. Now I'm creative full time, building something. What else can I build to create even more freedom so that we can go to Universal, but so that we can do all these things? And Chad, with everything that you have going on, you can't not just have one of these succeed. Like, you're already succeeding in several, if not all, of your endeavors.
Yeah, I mean, I would say right now the 2 things, because that's what I've been having to do the last few weeks, is try to narrow things down. Like, okay, I made a commitment to this play, but I'm not going to do the next one when it comes out, which is going to be Little Shop of Horrors. And that was the first play I ever did. And I was like, oh, I really want to do that. And I love musicals. I love to sing. But I'm like, I can't. I'm already going to be so overloaded because I'm starting school too. So I gotta make sure I have to rein in.
You got to prioritize
the energetic 5-year-old in me. I have to rein him in. I'm like, no, we'll come back to that later. It'll be there. It'll be there when you're done.
It will. And if I can close us on like a little bit of like a tool that I used that I learned while I was working for a big clothing retailer, and it's something that when I'm in a similar place as you, of like, I've got all these things that I want to do. I got to get them all done. I got to do them all right now. And they all have to be amazing. There's a chart of like what is urgent and what is important. The x-axis is horizontal, right there. So it's, that's importance, and urgency is the y-axis. And so if it's urgent and important, categorize it as like, that has to happen now.
Tier 1.
Important, but not urgent, knock it down the list. And you can just kind of categorize things into the 4 different areas of combinations of urgency and importance. It helps, at least it's helped me in prioritizing what I need to get done in one day and what I can actually let go of or just wait until later, especially when you have so much going on and you're creating a lot, and it's a different type of energy expenditure when you're creating stuff. But if I can leave us with that, and maybe, I mean, we barely scratched the surface on all of this, and I can't believe how fast 20 minutes has flown by, and it's
goodness.
Thank you for making the time. I know you're a busy guy and got your family, and it's summer too, so everybody's home still. And
it's the one thing you always have to remember, people. You always need to find time to, squeeze 10, 20, 30 minutes in there for the people, that can enrich your life, the people that can bring you back down to earth, the people that can remind you, of normality, whatever that is.
Yeah. Well, Chad, I appreciate you, brother. This is not the last time that we'll be talking to each other on here, and hopefully we'll get a longer conversation in again soon.
Absolutely.
Cheers, man.
There you go.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Break legs with everything you got going on.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Second Cup featuring our special guest, Chad William Fischer. To keep up with everything Chad has going on in the VO world and his business ventures, follow him on social media and subscribe to his YouTube channels at ChatterboxVO, CBX Media, and Chatterbox Hobby. All of these are also included in the description to help you find him. This show is recorded and produced by Tim Heller Creative, LLC. If you're a small or large business and would like to sponsor the show, reach out to Tim at timhellercreative.com and we can have a little chat and see if we're a good fit. Tune in next time for another incredible conversation and to learn something cool from a really awesome person.